My name is Libby Blanchard, and I'm a member of King's College, and I'm studying for an MPhil in Environment, Society, and Development. So I grew up in national parks. My parents were Park Service rangers, and before I was 8, I had lived in Grand Canyon National Park and Hawaii Volcanoes, Yellowstone, and Rocky Mountain National Park. And so I grew up with conservation values all around me, and I grew up looking at how community needs are balanced with environmental goals. And now I basically still look at those issues, but just on a global context. The two big questions that I'm looking at are the fact that 1 billion people live in chronic hunger, and the fact that the world's population is going to rise to 9 billion people by 2050, and questions of how we're going to feed those people. At the same time, we're facing this massive biodiversity loss on Earth. It's called the Anthropocene, and it's the first time that we're seeing extinction that is human-caused. I think we all depend on nature, even those of us in cities and at universities like Cambridge, just from the perspective of even the oxygen cycle and trees sequestering carbon from food to water to material for shelter. And so the important thing to figure out is how to bring people out of poverty, but at the same time save the ecosystem services that are critical to humanity and critical to the world. There are different incentives, different models that we're looking at. One model is market-driven, and it's the idea of payments for ecosystem services. I went to work for a coffee importing firm, and I was able to launch their international development programs for them. Coffee is one of the few cash crops that can grow under a canopy of trees, so it does allow for rural peasants to be able to grow a cash crop, but also value the diversity around them. We worked with the community surrounding Gombe National Park in Tanzania, where Jane Goodall did her research on chimpanzees. And we were able to plant 235,000 shade trees as part of the project. And we were also able to triple the incomes of those coffee farmers. There were about 5,000 coffee farmers in that cooperative. And there was really no challenge of being able to improve that quality of coffee by planting shade trees or by planting nitrogen-fixing trees to improve the soils and therefore improve the coffee quality. We also did food security initiatives where we worked with local communities to diversify what they grew so that they would have less food insecurity throughout the year. And these were all ways that we could strengthen our own supply chain and have a better, more consistent amount of coffee coming in every year. I'm studying a lot of political ecology, basically how politics changes and modifies ecological decisions that are made. Same thing with political economy. I'm taking a politics, nature, and society course at the moment. So basically looking at how policies and how decisions are made that affect the world's poor and affect the environment. I feel very honored to be at Cambridge, and I feel very privileged to be a Gates Scholar. Being around Gates Scholars, they're both intelligent and very altruistic, and that's a wonderful thing. These people have heart. They're trying to make a difference in the world, and I'm certain that they will.